常に2種類貼っていればいいではないか。
それもできなくはないけど、より魔力の消耗が少ない効率的なやり方を身につけたいんだ。
確かに相手の攻撃を一瞬で見極められれば可能だな。
ずっと憧れだった魔法に関してだけは妥協したくないからね。
まったく呆れたやつだ。
Episode 8 of Noble on the Brink of Ruin, and wow. This episode was just horrendously boring. Like, I must have felt my eyes glaze over like 4 or 5 times. Honestly, like, I'm just keeping it 100 with you guys. Like, this episode was so boring that mid-episode I was like, I paused it. I was like, man, is this anime that bad now that I just dropped this anime? Like, is it that bad? Like, I was having that, like, it was that boring. Like, it was a slog. It was a slog to finish. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Like, it was just so boring. Liam comes in and he, the Dracula stuff is over. He reconvenes, regathers, rejoins Liam or Leanne or something like that. He rejoins the girls, Jody and Asuna, I think it was. He rejoins the girls and he's like, okay, yeah, we beat the Dracula, blah, blah, blah. All these people are still infected because the Dracula's essence, blah, 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 blah. And then Radon's like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, cure. And he's like, at the whole time he's doing the cure, it's like, dude, AoE, bro. Like, an AoE attack. And he finally clicks. He does the AoE all cure by putting on his stupid looking armor. Then he's like, okay, vampires, you guys want to come join me? And they're like, oh, master. And it's like, okay, whatever. All right, cool. And then it moves on, and they're talking about his area. Some merchants are visiting his up-and-coming town, which I guess everyone's just acknowledging it's a kingdom now, even though it's like the size of a village. But, hey, we're whatever, dude. And the main guy, the orc guy, I think they're orcs or whatever. He's like, oh, well, you got to meet with them. You're the king. He's like, I'm not the king. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, basically he's the king. Okay. And then he's like, everybody, is Liam the king? Everyone's like, yeah, Liam's the king. And then Radon apparently can just come out and play whenever he wants. So he's like, by this day forward, Liam's the king. Everyone's like, okay, all right. So he's a king now. And then he goes and talks to Scarlet, and then she gets blushy, by a 12-year-old boy. Whatever, dude. And then she's like, oh, I got stuff to investigate. Okay. Then we find out that Liam's getting investigated by these other random nobles or something. They're like, is he the demon lord or is he the savior? We don't know. Find out next episode on Dragon Ball Z. And it's like, okay. So then that happens. And the rest of the episode, he's just, effing around with Radon, learning ancient magic. And, what was Radon protecting the whole time? And then he's like, oh, I'm learning this magic and I'm learning this magic. But none of it's fun. Like, it's devoid of fun and funny. Like, I'm not having fun watching it. And what's happening on screen isn't funny. So if I'm not having fun and it's not funny, what the am I here for? You know what I mean? Maybe you feel differently. Let me know in the comments if you feel differently. But I was like, everything that happened, is it fun? I think maybe the funniest part, and it wasn't like hee, ha, ha, laugh, funny. Probably the funniest moment was finding out that because 100 hours in real life had passed, God knows how many millennia has passed in the little box. So the Dracula king, he just killed himself, basically. He just gave up. They're like, oh, he's gone now. And he's like, poof, out of the box. Dick was in the box, now his dick's out of the box. You know what I mean? That was probably the funniest moment, but even that wasn't, like, funny. And then the end of the episode, they show the preview for next episode, and what was it about? I guess he's going to be meeting with other people, and it's called Liam Trice Talking to a Girl, I guess. He's going to talk to Scarlet more next episode. And then they had like a little segment at the end where he's talking about how fairies are so beautiful, and now they're elves. Which that's another question too that I didn't think about in the moment. But like when the fairies evolved into elves, they evolved with clothes and shoes. Like how does that even happen? Like the clothes, okay, maybe I'll give that to you because the fairies were wearing some kind of clothing, you know. So maybe like they just get us bigger. But then how do they wear shoes? How are they wearing shoes? Anyway, so yeah, like a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10, I think is what the episode was. Maybe 5. Maybe 5 out of 10. If it was like on a 5-point scale, 2 out of 5, 2.5 out of 10, 2.5 out of 5. You know what I mean? 4 out of 10 is probably where I'm at with this episode. This episode was bad. It was garbage. It was garbaggio, man. I just didn't like it. So this episode was so bad. I'm like, shit, do I drop this show? That's how bad this episode was. And it's not even redeemable by the fact like, oh, well, like a couple of other shows this season, oh, well, it has a dub. So it's like, oh, it makes it easier to watch. You don't really have to like sit there and like pay attention the whole time. You just kind of like listen, you know? This one's like, well, it's subbed only, so I gotta read. I don't understand Japanese yet, you know? Ohio, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. Anyway, this was a bad episode. So I'll see you guys next week, maybe. Let me know in the I mean, well, I'll talk to you guys in the comments. I'll see you there. Peace out.